Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Let me introduce ourselves. My name is Rinaldi Hikmatullah Dwi Prayudi, and my partner name is Fadia Hanifa. We are from Group 4. On this occasion, we would like to present a material about place of articulation. Places of articulation. Places of articulation means when we produce sound, sometimes our tongue touches our lips, and sometimes only our lips come together and make sound. Sometimes our tongue touches our soft palate or back part, alveolar tongue. So, this touching of places or vocal tract or speech organs is called place of articulation. In this section, we will learn where to place your tongue, teeth, and lips when creating sounds, how different sounds involve different parts in the mouth, and how to pronounce all of the consonant sounds in English. First, we will look where the different parts of the mouth are located, and then look at where each of the English consonants are pronounced. The place of articulation is important in pronunciation because we must know where to produce sound in order to pronounce them correctly. If we are not pronouncing a consonant correctly, it's probably because the place of articulation is not correct as we are pronouncing the sound. The place of articulation, or POA, of a consonant specifies where in the vocal tract the narrowing occurs. From front to back, the place of articulation that English use are: first, bilabial. Bilabial means only two lips involved. When we produce these sounds, we only use both of our lips. So, or both of lips helping to produce bilabial sounds. Bilabial consonants occur when you block or constrict airflow out of the mouth by bringing your lips together. The bilabial English consonants are as follows: p, p, as in purse, wrap, and spin. B, b, as in back, cab, and bed. M, m, as in mad, clam, and man. The next point is labiodental. The labiodental sounds are articulated by using both the lower lip and the upper front teeth. In bilabial sounds, we use both of our lips, but in labiodental, we use only our lower lip and the upper front teeth to produce sounds. Labiodental consonants occur when you block or constrict airflow by curling your lower lip back and raising it to touch your upper row teeth. The labiodental English consonants are as follows: f, f, as in fro, calf, and fan. V, v, as in vine, have, and ven. The next part is dental. To produce the dental sounds, our tongue has to touch the upper teeth. Dental consonants occur when you block or constrict airflow by placing your slimy tongue against your upper teeth. The dental English consonants are as follows: as in thick, bat, and thing. V, v, as in the, rather, and this. The next point is alveolar. To produce the alveolar sounds, our tongue has to go up and touch the alveolar ridge. The area between the upper front teeth and the palate is alveolar ridge. The alveolar ridge is where your teeth meet your gums. You create alveolar consonants when you raise your tongue to the alveolar ridge to block or constrict airflow. The alveolar English consonants are as follows: n, n, as in no and man. T, t, as in tab and rat. D, d, as in deep and bad. S, as in suit and bus. Z, z, as in zit and jazz. L, l, as in luck and fully. Okay then, on the next part of the session will be presented by my partner Fadia Hanifa, and the time is yours.
Thank you, Renaldi, for presenting the first material. So the next is post-alveolar. Post-alveolar consonants are consonants articulated with the tongue near or touching the back of the alveolar ridge. Articulation is farther back in the mouth than the alveolar consonants, which are at the ridge itself, but not as far back as the hard palate, the place of articulation for palatal consonants. There are many types of post-alveolar sounds, especially among the sibilants. The three primary types are palato-alveolar, alveolo-palatal, and retroflex. The palato-alveolar and alveolo-palatal subtypes are commonly counted as palatals. In phonology science, they rarely contrast with true palatal consonants. So, post-alveolar consonants are those that occur when the tongue blocks or constricts airflow at the point just beyond the alveolar ridge. The post-alveolar English consonants are as follows: sh, sh, as in shot, brush, sheep, sharp. This sound clearly carries no voice. However, it is quite difficult to differentiate where in the mouth it is articulated. It seems to be between the alveolar ridge and the hard palate, and some people call it a palato-alveolar, as the sound is being forced between the tongue and the palato-alveolar. It is fricative. Z, z, as in vision, occasion, pleasure, measure. Placing your finger over your throat, you can clearly feel the vibration of voice. The position of the tongue is somewhere around where the hard palate and the alveolar ridge meet, making it a palato-alveolar. Ch, ch, as in cheek, chill, match, chair. If you place your hand on your throat, you can clearly feel that this sound carries no voice. Also, the fact that it is a fricative means that the tongue is spread over the hard palate and the alveolar ridge, making it a palato-alveolar sound. J, j, as in job, jam, chow, badge. The sound is the voice equivalent of the t sound. The fact that it is a fricative means that the tongue is spread over the hard palate and the alveolar ridge, making it a palato-alveolar sound. Palate consonants or palatal consonants are consonants in which the tongue is raised to the hard palate, central part of the roof of the mouth. Consonants produced with the tip of the tongue against the palate are called back pulling. The back part of the tongue goes and touches palate and produces palatal sound. The roof of your mouth is the hard palate. You create palatal consonants when you raise the tongue to this point and constrict airflow. English has only one palatal consonant as follows: y, y, as in yes and yet. This may look like a y sound, but it is the phonetic representation of the y sound. It is a semivowel, having some of the qualities of a vowel and of a consonant. Retroflex. There is one retroflex sound in English. The first sound in red or r. Retroflex means that the tip of the tongue, therefore an apical sound, is curled up and back towards the real part of the alveolar ridge. In this sense, the sound could also be considered post-alveolar. The post-alveolar area is right behind the alveolar ridge on the border of the hard palate, but the spatial position of the tongue gives it its retroflex characteristic. The tip of the tongue does not touch the upper articulator. There is only approximation. The retroflex English consonants are as follows: r, r, as in red, ride, run, rope. R is a very tricky consonant. Many people think that r is still rolled in the mouth. Although this could be said about Scottish English, it is not true of RP. The tongue tip is fairly close to the back of the alveolar ridge, with the sides of the tongue in contact with the sides of the palate. R is not pronounced when it comes before a consonant, even if it is written. The same is true if r comes at the end of a word, so it is only pronounced if the following words begins with a vowels. Filler. Filler are consonants articulated with the back part of the tongue, the dorsum, against the soft palate, the back part of the roof of the mouth, known also as the filum. Since the filler region of the roof of the mouth is relatively extensive and the movement of the dorsum not very precise, fillers easily undergo assimilation, shifting their articulation back or to the front depending on the quality of adjacent vowels. They often become automatically front, that is partly or completely palatal before a following front vowel, and retracted, that is partly or completely uvular before back vowels. Behind your hard palate, you have the filum or soft palate. You make filler consonants when you raise the back of your tongue to the filum to block or restrict airflow. The filler English consonants are as follows: as in thing, going, uncle, England. This sound is never found at the beginning of a word. It is a voice sound made by the back of the tongue stopping against the soft palate. If you place your finger in front of your nose, you should be able to feel the expulsion of air through your nose, which makes it a nasal consonant. K, k, as in kite, back, psych, like. This sound is the voiceless equivalent of g. The place of articulation should be felt as being soft palate at the back of your mouth. G, G, as in good, bug, egg, green. This letter is the voice version of G. Switching between the two, you should be able to feel the voice of G. It is easy to tell that the sound is being made at the back of the throat. It might also be possible for you to feel the back of your tongue touching the soft palate as you make the sound. W, w, as in well, wet, Howard, wolf. This consonant is also known as a semivowel. The articulation of this letter makes it sound as if it starts out at the vowel before becoming an obstruction of the airflow. The obstruction never causes enough friction to make it sound like a fricative. Glottal. Glottal is the deep place of articulation. In pairings, we have glottis or epiglottis, and this sound is coming from that place. Glottal is a restriction of the airflow at the glottis. The glottis is actually two vocal folds. It acts as a sort of bottle cap to your windpipe. Inhale and then hold your breath for a few seconds while keeping your mouth open. What you are actually doing to keep the air from expelling out of your lungs by closing your glottis. Glottal consonants are not actually consonants. They just play consonants roles in the language. English has only one glottal consonant as follows. As in high, here, hand, happy. This sound carries no voice. You should be able to feel that the sound comes from the very back of your mouth. In fact, it is articulated by the glottis, which is as far back as you can get. Being so far back, it is hard to feel that the air is being forced through the vocal cords as a fricative. We can show no sagittal section representation of the sound because it is produced at the glottal area. Other places of articulation which are not really used in English is uvular. Uvulars are consonants articulated with the back of the tongue against or near the uvula, that is farther back in the mouth than filler consonants. Uvulars may be plosives, fricative, nasal stops, trills of approximants. Though the IPA does not provide a separate symbol for the approximant, and the symbol for the voice fricative is used instead. Uvular affricates can certainly be made but are rare. They occur in some Southern High German dialects, as well as in a few African and Native American languages. Effective uvular affricates occur in as realization of uvular stops in Lilut and Georgian. English has no uvular consonants and they are unknown in the indigenous languages of Australia and the Pacific. Uvular consonants are however found in many African and Middle Eastern languages, most notably Arabic, and in Native American languages in parts of the Caucasus Mountains and northwestern North America. Nearly every language has uvular stops and fricatives. Two uvular are found in northwestern Europe. It was once thought that they spread from northern French, but some linguists will believe that contact does not explain the appearance of all uvular in Europe. Review. It takes a bit of time to develop a physical awareness of your speech organ. There are two reasons for this. One, you can see your speech organ. Two, you have been using the muscles of your speech organ every day of your life since your first breath. Remember that whether you see it or not, the muscles of the speech organs can be controlled. Don't ever let anyone tell you that you are incapable of a human speech sound. It's just a question of knowing and practicing. Come back to this page as often as you need to review this information. Before we move on, I want to make a few important points. First, I do not list all the possible places of articulation for human speech. These are just the one for general American English. 2. I do not list all the possible consonant sounds. There are also just for general American English. To recap, the place of articulation is not the only feature that determines the sound of a consonant. There is also manner of articulation and phonation. That's all for our presentation today. I hope you will understanding about the material, and thank you so much for watching, and sorry if there's something wrong with our presentation. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.